I studied electrical engineering, majoring in biomedical engineering. And afterwards, I did a PhD in computer sciences, which was interesting because it was about machine learning methods, which is very timely nowadays. I am full professor at the University of Greifswald, which is in northern Germany. And I am actually chairing the Department of Medical Physics here, and arrived here in April 2020, so that was right at the beginning of COVID. Since then, I developed a new master's program in medical physics at my university, and also became the vice president of the German chapter of the ISMR. My research currently focuses on the development of MR sequences and image processing methods for the flow MRI, and especially on intracranial applications. Yes, there were several decisions that brought me here. The first decision was very early in 2004, where I decided as a young engineer in research and development, which was my first job in industry after the master's degree, that I wanted to change career path and actually start a PhD. And this decision was because I had many problems that I encountered finding a job that I liked as a woman, or to be taken seriously as a young female engineer. For example, the interesting positions posted by the companies were actually often given to my male colleagues, while I continued applying and didn't find a job. So, and I also really wanted to work in research and development, which was unusual in the early 2000s because it was very male dominated. And a study colleague of mine then told me very bluntly that in his company, they actually don't even hire women, they only hire men. So the job that I at the end actually got, I thought was not very interesting. I didn't really like it that much. And I always had to come with a physics or engineering textbook to prove that what I did was actually correct. And this was not asked of my male colleagues. So at the end, I then decided to go the path of a PhD in a university environment. And then the second decision that I think was really bringing me to the point where I am now is that I repeatedly went to foreign labs. So I went to a lab in Boston, in Brisbane, and the last one was Chicago throughout my education. And I always took care that these labs actually have a very good standing in the field. And especially the decision, my last decision, that I went to Northwestern University in Chicago as a postdoctoral researcher actually really accelerated my career. This would not have been possible if I had stayed in Germany. So I did 4 years of postdoctoral research before I was promoted to junior faculty. And then it took 5 years to get promoted as associate professor. However, this was a little bit more difficult as a foreigner in the United States because a promotion is often tied to getting an NIH KL99, which is not a mechanism that is open to foreign scientists. So instead, you had to go right for an R01, which is much harder to get than a KL99. So my decision to then apply for a full professor in Germany was successful after I then actually successfully received NIH funding. And this made also at the same time my promotion at Northwestern possible to associate professor. However, then I took the job in Germany, and this was really amazing, and that I got right into the full professor then. Typically, so other applicants who had the same record at the time as a postdoc were promoted to assistant professor after 2 years or even less. So it took me 2 years longer. At least this is what I could observe from my environment, which was mostly men who were promoted. Yes, I actually could experience this throughout my career several times. And I also talked to female colleagues at the different locations who also experienced this. I think it is very important to go into the negotiations well informed. So if you have the chance to find out what your colleagues at the same position earn, what salaries they have, that is very helpful for you to negotiate well. And of course, I hope that in the future there will be much more transparency about the salaries at the different universities and positions. I think that they do not. I think that a lot of things have changed in the society, and that the incoming generation of students don't really care which gender or color of skin they have. I think it's actually quite the opposite, that they really embrace diversity. I do not think that I'm perceived differently than my male colleagues. The students seem to go into the lectures without any prejudices, which I think is really great. And this makes the teaching a lot of fun. However, I'm only 1 out of 2 female professors in a group of 12 professors at my institution. And my only other female colleague will retire in 2 years. So after that, I will be alone. So maybe the students actually even enjoy the different views and approaches that the two of us teach and find it really refreshing. However, I really hope that there will be more women entering the academic world and even go through with a career as a woman in academia. But I think it is hard to do this if you want to have a family. I personally do not have a family, and this is partly due to the moving to the different countries, the long work hours, like 12 to 14 hours work days, or the volunteering that is required, such as peer reviewing, membership in scientific societies and on the boards of these societies or in committees, organizing meetings and workshops, and all of this you actually do in your free time. So if you want to have a family and if you want to pursue a career as a woman in the field, then I think you need a partner who really supports you, who follows you to these different countries and who takes care of the kids. So either the work-life balance issue changes in academia, or you have a partner who's willing to take the role that the women usually had in the past. Yes, I think that there are more women in other disciplines. There are even more female faculty in the humanities. In natural sciences, I think there are also some fields that have more women or female faculty, such as psychology or biology. And I think even math and computer sciences have a few more. But I think that this actually shows that working in academia is not only about the issue of work-life balance, but that is also not often chosen by women, and especially in the STEM subjects, that are still seem not to be interesting for the women, which you can also see in a number of the enrolling female students in these subjects. So I think the issue goes back further, and that this is still an issue of the upbringing of girls and that I think the next generation will have to do a better job in not imprinting gender roles while raising their kids.